everybody. We're here today with Miss Shelly Beth Tomlinson. She is a neighbor of mine from neighboring metropolitan of Mount Judy, Arkansas, and a lifelong Mount Judy resident, I think.
Yes.
Been there for a long time,
yes,
right?
multi-generations. So I was born and raised there, and yeah,
Tell us about your mom then.
Okay. Well, my mom was also born and raised around Mount Judy,
right.
but no, she's actually kind of one of the sources of my recipe and why I do the pies and everything. So she is from Mount Judy area. My dad was as well, and so that's home. I was raised with my grandma and grandmas nearby within just a couple miles, and so that was just a wonderful upbringing to be close to everybody and surrounded by family, and that was wonderful. So
now, growing up, I'm sure you had an old-fashioned upbringing, right?
I don't know if you'd say old-fashioned. I was, we had modern conveniences, thankfully.
Right.
But Dad still held on to a lot of the older traditions, and Mom did too. But Dad, he would butcher a hog every year, and so they would process that. And then just a lot of things growing up that now I look back on it, and I think I was so blessed to be kind of on the edge of getting to witness some of those old-fashioned upbringing activities, but yet have all the modern conveniences and technologies and all the things that we have now.
So you got to see a little bit about how it was done in the old times and then how it was. See, I feel the same way, except my dad still chooses to heat our house with the same method that the cavemen used, which is by wood.
Yeah.
And cutting wood it's my least favorite thing ever. An out-of-tune guitar is right there close, but cutting wood is it's high on the hog for me of things that I could live my whole life and never do it again, and I wouldn't miss it a bit.
So I'm betting when you get your own place, it will not be heated.
It will not be. Even if I have to save up and sell whatever I've got, I will sacrifice something to have to not cut wood. I promise. It wears me down, and it's not even the physical part of it. It's good exercise, and you get to be outside when it's pretty a lot of the time.
Yes.
But it's just the mental aspect of it. It's just I'm out here cutting something that I'm gonna have to burn. And it's just
seems like wasted energy.
Yeah, but
that's funny that you said. My husband and I have been saying we wanted to go back to wood heat. We love that smell.
Don't do
I'll be
it.
like, call Walker. Ask Walker about that.
No, don't call Walker for a rick of wood. I can promise you, it just ails me. But there's a lot of things in life that we don't want to do, but we have to do it.
Yes.
I learned that lesson early on, but. So you've got a lot going on, obviously. Tell us a few of the things that you got going on.
Okay, so I'm kind of known as the pie lady. So that's the thing that I enjoy the most, probably, is the selling and the making of the pies. That is my favorite.
Famous for a reason. I can attest to that. These things right here, they will make you happy.
Thanks, Walker. That's because they have that grease in them, lots of grease and lots of sugar, so it's hard to go wrong with that. But the pies are the thing that I probably get the most joy out of making. But I also but I work in education because I learned that selling the pies didn't pay all the bills, so I did have to keep a full-time job. We do. The pies are kind of a side gig, but they take up a whole lot of time.
I feel that, and I feel that one.
Yes, and I know I have seen some of your other podcasts, and you have discussed just that creativity and how it's so fulfilling to do these creative things, but sometimes they're not the most profitable. So, but I do that, and then again, I work in education, and then I still own the Mercantile there in Mount Judy, the Mount Judy Mercantile. That's kind of where the pies got their start. We had purchased the Mercantile back in, I think I purchased it in 2015 or 16, just because it was a neat historic building, and it was in disrepair and not in good shape, and I was just afraid what would happen to it, if somebody didn't do something. So thankfully that family allowed us to purchase it, and we worked on fixing it up, and we carry local handmade items, mainly within the county or neighboring counties, and that's actually where the pies kind of got their start. So whenever my family has fried pies for a long time, but when we started the Mercantile, it just seemed like people needed something to munch on, while they had driven all that way and they were shopping in this old historic building that's 100 years old, and they just needed something that they could hold in their hand. And so we thought, well, we'll start making some pies. So I started making fried pies. They were all apple. And that worked fine. It kind of expanded a little bit, and then I got caught by the health inspector because I wasn't legit stinking rules.
No.
So then that led to me buying the pie wagon, and then that just kind of grew from there. But the Mercantile is actually kind of what started the pie business. So we kind of did it just for fun at first, but then that
So
kind
they
of
kind of
took
go
off.
hand in hand.
They do go hand in hand. And every once in a while, I'll have the pie wagon at the Mercantile. A few times a year, we park it down there. It's always a fun place to be because we're close to home, and it's, you know, low stress and everything. So we enjoy that when we are parked. We call it home there at the Mercantile. But that's how they kind of go hand in hand. So
now, Mount Judy, where you're from and where a lot of my friends are from, including the legendary Travis Holt,
yes,
who I'm sure you know or probably related to in some aspect.
Probably somehow.
Yeah, somewhere down the line. It's everybody's kin. My mom always told me, you're going to have to go off and get married because everybody around here is your cousin. So, but down around in there, there's a lot of community events that are old school, like a street dance. You don't see that in a lot of places. Street dance, you know, fried pies, people selling stuff that they make, that type of stuff.
It's like they're hanging on to that culture, as you know, at least a little bit of it,
right?
Which is great in this day and age. But the street dance, we love the street dance, especially when 7 South comes to town. And so that's always a lot of fun. And I love the street dance because it's just fun. Anytime you have music, it always makes things, it increases the fun level for sure. But anytime also that y'all play Call Baton Rouge or some John Michael Montgomery, I want to clog. And so if I'm not in the middle of frying, I'll come out and try to do some clogging. And I noticed you did some clogging when you were in Missouri. Yes, I saw that, and I thought that Walker's he's got some clogging moves.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to have Jason put a picture of me doing my little dancey dance up there.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a moment filled with pure adrenaline. I was sitting there playing the steel guitar, and Anthony, who we'll get to later, Anthony was just on one that night. He had all the adrenaline in the world, and I'm like, what can I do to show these people that I mean business? So I get up, and we're playing. We're in the middle of Dixieland Delight, which is one of the closer that night. We did Dixieland Delight into I'll Fly Away because we always like to include a gospel song.
Yes.
And Anthony was just sawing on the fiddle. Well, I just got up and started doing a hoedown dance, and the crowd just went ballistic. It was nuts. And the adrenaline off of that, it took me like 20 minutes just to come down from that because I was like, whoa, this is what it's like. But yeah, I didn't know that you were a clogger.
I wish I had you as a student. So my dad, growing up, anytime we traveled and we went somewhere that there were cloggers performing or any kind of jig dancing, we would go watch them. My dad and my mom both loved that. And I remember I played the drums growing up, and my sister played the piano. Music kind of runs in our family.
Very well, too.
And so I remember watching, my dad would come through the house and he would be jig dancing as he came through. So we have just always kind of been accustomed to that and drawn to that. And so my sister and I guess I probably would have been around 20. I won't tell how old she was. But we started taking clogging classes here in Harrison, just kind of for fun. And we both loved it. It was a lot of fun. But, you know, you're not quite as agile when you're past your teenage years.
Right.
So we did a decent amount. It's like every day is a little bit further away from agility.
Some days I roll out of bed and I'm just like, am I 23 or am I 40?
It's only going to get worse. But, so we did clogging, and then I thought this might be something that kids around home would want to do. So I started offering clogging classes at Deer and at Mount Judy, and I would offer them in the fire department. So
that's awesome.
They were so kind. They would pull out the fire truck and let me teach clogging there on the concrete, and then we'd bring the fire truck back in at night. And so then it kind of grew, and the most I think I had was around close to 40 students one year. We would do a production at the end of the year, each season, each spring. We
That's
might do a
awesome.
hee-haw theme or a Grease theme, or it was just a ton of fun. I loved that, and those kids did so well. It was such a source of pride, to
Right.
watch them perform and be like, oh, look at that talent.
Mostly Newton County kids?
Almost all of them. A
That's
few would
awesome.
come from around Harrison, but almost all were Newton County. And it would have been around maybe 2006 is probably when I started, maybe 2004 or 5. And then I went until about 2013. Or no, about 2018, I guess. So we went for quite a while. And that actually is another reason I bought the Mercantile. We clogged in the side room. That's where we
Really?
would practice.
On the old wooden floor?
Uh-huh. We
Nice.
would. Yeah, we found every nail that wasn't totally
Yeah.
nailed in. We would find it in the
Yeah.
stuff. So that was just a lot of fun. And we went to Gatlinburg one year and performed. We clogged there. But no, I loved it. I just wish I had started sooner. I wish
Yeah.
when I had been 6 years old that we had had the opportunity to start clogging.
Yeah.
But different things happened and life got really, really busy for me. And then I had to kind of give that up. But and the families they got busy as well. A lot of people have this misconception that kids in Newton County aren't busy, but that's
Yeah.
wrong. Like if
Yeah.
anything, they're busier because they have to drive further
They're
to
out
be
cutting
involved in
wood.
sports.
That's what they're doing.
That's right.
They're
They're
cutting wood.
cutting wood. You're right. So that a lot of them had gotten very, very busy. So, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted. But when I saw you do that, I thought, I wish I had Walker.
Yeah.
I didn't have many boys that clogged.
Oh, I would have done it. I
Oh,
love that.
yeah.
I've seen some.
I had a
old-
few that did, and they did great.
I've seen some old videos from like Appalachian dancing and
Yes.
that type of stuff, and I wish I could do that. They'd have there's a show, I can't remember who it was by, but it's called The Wonderful Whites of West Virginia. Don't watch it; it's terrible. But they are clog dancers. They do that old style mountain dancing.
Yes.
And the dad's name was D. Ray White, and he would do barefoot on a piece of plyboard in the yard, just clog all day long.
That's tough.
But they would do like, I don't know how deep that you got into it, but they would clog and sing at the same time. And their clogging
yes.
was their rhythm of.
Yes.
And I couldn't do that at all.
Yeah. Well, I think doesn't Violet Hensley, doesn't she clog?
Oh, I don't know.
I think she clogs and plays the fiddle at the same time. I may be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure she is multi-talented like that. I don't think I'm that good, but
We need to get Anthony clogging and playing the fiddle at
yes,
the same time.
yes.
Yeah, sometimes I think he's going to break out into some type of, experimental dance whenever he's up there. He does some wild stuff, throwing his bow around and like directing traffic with his bow. He was born to be a frontman. There is no doubt.
He was. Now, he is my cousin. His
Yeah.
dad is my double first cousin. So Anthony's grandma.
Oh, yes.
Anthony's grandma.
Everybody on Steelin for a Living. We're about to get into some Newton County stuff here. This
this
is what
is
you
why-
call double cousins.
So that's why we're both so good. Such good genetics there.
Explain how a double cousin works. 'cause-
Okay, so let's take his dad. His dad is named Randy. So Randy's mom and my mom were sisters, and then Randy's dad and my dad were brothers.
Right.
And so we are double first cousins. And Anthony, then I don't know what that makes him. I mean, we're lucky that we're kin.
Yeah.
But what that means is that every family get together, Anthony was there. Like whether
Yeah.
it was on my mom's side or my
Yeah.
dad's side,
Yeah.
Anthony and I were at every family get together.
And I've heard
growing up.
tell that a double cousin is like having a brother and sister.
We have laughed because Anthony and I are so much alike.
Yeah.
It's pretty apparent there. But that's Anthony's musical talent. My sister has that as well, and I couldn't do anything with key changes, but I could do rhythm.
Right.
But that family, that lineage, it runs strong in that.
Yeah.
That
and we're talking about Anthony Kent from Seven South.
yes.
The lead singer, frontman, fiddle player.
Yes.
Doesn't haul any gear. He doesn't carry any of the gear, but he does play the fiddle, which I'm pretty guilty of that myself because I'm always running 2 or 3 cameras. But
Yes.
we got some good help. We got our friend Tex, who you've
Yes.
had,
Yes.
and just a ton of good help and
Well,
good fortune.
Anthony and I too, I think that is also genetic, our inability to remember things. Like if you put us in charge, we do not need to be the responsible party of whatever is going on. There better be some help there, that's for sure. But no, I wanted to play the fiddle my whole life, but then when I was I don't know, maybe early 20s, I thought, I'm going to do this. I'm going to learn to play the fiddle. And so we had bought a fiddle, and I told my sister to not touch it because she could just, I'm sure, pick out anything really fast. And that made me mad. So I went up to my Uncle JW's, and he was close to Anthony as well. And I thought, Uncle JW, he'll teach me how to play the fiddle. And he played by ear. So what he did was he got out his fiddle, and he struck a few, tunes or chords, and he said, now you do it. And I was like, no, you have to teach me. And he was like, okay. So he did it again, slower and louder. And he said, now you do it. I was like, I don't think you understand.
And you're talking about J.W. Smith,
J.W.
right?
Smith, yes. So that I didn't learn how to play the fiddle. It did not come naturally to me.
So J.W. Smith's kind of a local legend in our music.
Yes.
A lot of people's musical ability stemmed from him, I'm real good friends with Jerry Lee.
Yes.
And he kind of played alongside J.W. Smith and was kind of mentored by him, and they used to have huge music parties back in the day. And there's some old home footage of I think it was J.W.'s birthday, and they were having fun. We'll just put it that way. It was looked like a good time.
I think it was often a good time. Yes, definitely so.
That's where a lot of that music that is now today, a lot of what is now even in 7 South and other local bands, stems down from those music parties that they had at the house.
Yes.
The little kids would listen to the music. That was before they had like Xboxes and Nintendos and all that stuff. They would sit there and listen. It was either listen to music or go cut wood, and they were smart enough not to go cut wood, so they just decided that they would decide they'd listen to music and
learn how to
picked
play
up instrument.
Yes, and that is just so impactful. And I think a lot of times we just, as humans, we don't realize the impact that those small things have. And you could tie it back to the pies even. Just, I don't think growing up that Mom or my cousin Mary or any of them had any idea of the impact that their influence would have. And whether it be holding true with music or with cooking or with storytelling, like I think a lot of times we just underestimate those small things or the impact we have on future generations and on others around us as well.
Yeah, these family traditions, as I like to call them, they're so important because if we don't carry them on, they'll die off.
Yes.
And I didn't understand that Mount Judy was such a big. It was really a big community back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. It was a big community. It had a lot going on.
Yes.
And the Mercantile was a thriving point of business.
It was. We have compared it to a super center. It was kind of the equivalent of a Walmart super center because you could get anything from in there. And what they didn't carry, you could mail order it. So they talk about people who ordered wagons or tractors from the catalog, and then they would be shipped there to Mount Judy, but they would have ordered them from that catalog at the Mercantile. And it's just really interesting. One Christmas Eve, I was working down there, and a cousin brought in some old ledgers that were from the Mercantile, and it had in there, of course, the penmanship is just beautiful, but it had in there where everybody had signed their name, and they had put what they had purchased because they were charging it most of the time. But it showed like on Christmas Eve and the week before Christmas, like certain families, they would buy the double-sided washers, like the wash tubs. I guess that was probably a Christmas present for the wives. Yeah. But there were crayons. They would buy crayons. They would buy oranges, a lot of oranges. I'm trying to think of other stuff that came through. But, things that you hear about. But it was just really interesting to see that written down. And so we, like some of our, grandparents and great-grandparents, their names were in there and they had signed off. And so that was just really interesting to see just that history of who bought what and when. So that was really interesting.
And Mount Judy was kind of like it was a big town because there was a lot of towns around it, right?
Yeah.
You got Bass, and you got,
these suburbs.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I thought maybe the mail only came once a week. But when I found out, no, it was daily. It was daily from Russellville and daily from Harrison. It's like, they weren't isolated. Like, they were definitely very involved in what was happening and going on. So
a lot of that comes from the fact that not everybody had cars.
Yeah.
And, a lot of these country folks worked in the logwoods a lot, which a lot of them still do.
Yes.
And it's a very prominent thing around where we live. But the people that didn't have cars, they had to have towns every so often, especially kids. They had to walk to school. So Mount Judy had a school, and Bass probably had a school, and we'll have to get Travis to fact check us on all that stuff. He probably knows what happened on December 30th at the Mount Judy Schoolhouse dance or something.
And he will know. And he doesn't just say it with confidence like he knows it. Like normally, I think he really does know it.
He involves himself. I've never seen a man that can get involved with the story and identify with the story and make it a part of who he is. And keep that tradition alive. It's just, I have so much respect for him.
And remember the details. I know very few people who can do that, but it is quite impressive. That is not me. I get
dates.
Stories.
He can remember dates.
Yes,
I can't remember my mom and dad's birthday, and Travis can remember when the...
he probably knows your mom and dad's.
He probably does, yeah. I told Jason, I was like, he probably knows more about my family than I do.
He probably does.
Because I stem from the Martins at Vendor area, and the Harps and Robinsons from the Pruitt Yardell area. So he knows a lot about what goes on over there in that area. And
I know that you have connections to a lot of places. Now, I did see you had posted a picture one time of you with your Nana. Did you call her Nana?
Yeah, my Nana.
And y'all were cooking, it looked like? So did you have any, are there certain things she cooked that you, when you try them now, they bring back a memory? Anything that nostalgia? Like, what are things that she cooked that you remember?
The best thing was her cornbread.
Okay.
Cornbread, and I've never had anything like it since. It wasn't sweet cornbread, but it was just full of flavor. Like I've not had cornbread hers since. And a lot of the part was she cooked on an old cast iron skillet that was so worn out. It was her mother's and her grandmother's too. So we're talking probably a 150-year-old cast iron skillet by now. It's still sitting in my house. But the bottom of it had seasoned out so much that it had holes in the bottom of it. And they had soldered the bottom of it.
My word.
With probably lead-based solder. So my dad and grandpa and uncle had probably ate a bunch of lead. But and my dad still to this day, that's the only pan he wants to use if he's cooking cornbread. And I would say a lot of those old recipes they did everything by feel. There wasn't they weren't using measuring cups. She would say pinch of salt, pinch of flour, or whatever. And I feel like that was a lot of that dies with them whenever
it does. Can anybody in your family or have you eaten any cornbread that is very similar to that?
My mom can do pretty good.
Okay.
My mom can do pretty good. She's always reluctant to try it because my dad's a cornbread critic. It's kind of like if you have Michael Jordan for a basketball coach, and then you just compare everybody else. But
like imminent failure.
Yeah. Also, she made great strawberry cheesecakes, which were awesome.
Yum.
And just tons of old recipes. And she was just an avid cook. She loved to cook, and that was her life, She raised 2 boys and a husband on her meals, and she loved it. So another one of the things that she loved was we every year we would do canning peaches. We would can peaches and then use that for like putting it on ice cream or on pies or whatever.
Yum. Did y'all grow those peaches?
No. We would go to the store, but she wanted to teach me a little bit of the old school. And she did an awesome job at that, looking back now. But the funniest story about her cooking was she lived to be about 85 years old. And when she was probably 82, she couldn't drive anymore because of her eyesight. And she just got this hankering for some Christmas fudge. And she said, I'm going to make some Christmas fudge, unless I don't know. There wasn't anything that was going to stop her from making this Christmas fudge. And, you had to have that marshmallow cream to make the Christmas fudge. And the Dollar General in Grove was out. The Dollar General in Bellefonte was out. And in Harrison it was out. And Harps was out. And just nobody had any fudge. Well, Francis Cope went to like Branson or Fayetteville and got some marshmallow cream and brought it. And my grandma said, all right, take me over to Francis's and I was like, okay, I will. Give me a minute. I got stuff to do. And then she'd get on the phone with Francis and just talk. And finally I said, where are you going? And she just kind of pushed me out of the way in the kitchen. She was headed out the door to go to Francis's. She was going to find a way. She couldn't see, but she was going. But that's just, those old women were persistent, and that's the thing. She never wanted to slow down. And And me and her just had an incredibly good relationship, and I'm very thankful for that.
That is awesome. Well, that's one of my favorite things, I think, when we sell pies and we go places, and why I enjoy it so much is because it is a bite of nostalgia. So, a lot of people, they'll come and they'll bite into it and they might say, oh, this is like my grandma's used to make, or this is like my mom used to make, or this is like my aunt used to make. And, that's the best compliment to us when it can bring back a memory, or it's every once in a while they'll even say, this is even better than so-and-so used to make. But so many times I think the fried pies, we're kind of a rarity. There's not a lot of places that make and sell the fried pies. And so whenever we can bring back a memory or that bite of nostalgia, that's always a good thing. And we love hearing those stories that the people have. And a lot of them are older, they may be in their 90s. And so we love those stories. There was a gentleman in Hamburg, Arkansas, who was an elderly gentleman, and he bit into him and he came back. And we thought we were in trouble, but he said, no, I'm coming back to buy more. He said, these are like my mom's, and I've not tasted them like this in decades. And then he told the story about how he would dry the apples, on the tin roof. And growing up, my dad, we did have a little orchard in the back, and so he would dry the apples each summer, and peaches as well. And so that's what my mom would use whenever she would make the apple pies for my dad's birthday every year in August. That's what he asked for instead of a cake, was fried pies. So that's kind of the nostalgia that we have associated with those fried pies, and kind of why we got started making them was just that they were tied to those memories, and those memories can be so strong.
So tell me, I know for a fact that you've been in some questionable situations with this pie wagon that you haul around. Like, I've seen you one time. Did you go to Rock and Richland?
I think you were supposed to ask me like the sketchiest place we've been, and that was going to be my answer. Yes,
the Richland Valley.
But no, it's there's more to it than that, because I bet you all came in the same way we did. The creek was up, so you couldn't cross normally. So normally, it's a couple miles.
Oh no,
road.
we crossed.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we crossed.
We did not. We were afraid we were going to float that pie wagon. We came in the back way, which is, I think, 16 or 18 miles of dirt road one way. And this isn't like the main dirt road drag. Like, this is like where you go jeeping and four-wheeler riding.
Yeah.
We took that pie wagon and we went. And so we went and we sold pies and ice cream, and we came home that night at midnight the same way that we left or went. So that would probably be the one that was the most memorable. Yeah.
I'll tell you something about that trip. This creek looked very crossable.
Yes.
And we had to get across it to sound check. This is with Nuco, and Dalton Brantley was driving, my drummer. And I said, I don't know if we can make it, Dalton. I said, that's going to be pretty tight. He was like, we got it. And he was smoking. He doesn't smoke anymore, but he was smoking a cigarette and had a cigarette hanging out the window. And by the time we got like middle of the way across, the water had came up to his cigarette. And put his cigarette out. He said, hold on. He just kept on romping her down. But yeah, I had a guitar that got soaked, and it was just,
man.
But they told us, they said the water's going to be up. But
yep.
We were headstrong.
Oh yeah, I think we all had fair warning when we signed up, that we knew what we might be getting ourselves into.
But Rock and Richland is awesome.
Yeah.
And typically, whenever it's not a monsoon flood like it was that year, it's an awesome, easy to get to rural event. And the rural events that we've been talking about, like the street dances and the everything else that we do, which is just, we could go on and on, but those rural events need to stay alive because they're super important. There's people that don't get out and go to town, and but they still like to have a good time. And so Rock and Richland is an awesome place.
Yes, it's a beautiful place to visit. And it was. And if they're there, they want to be there. Like it's an event for all of us involved. So that was definitely a lot of fun. So,
but I learned something about creek crossings that day.
We did not try it. So y'all, I don't know if you have more guts than we did, or if you were just crazier. I'm not sure, but we opted to come in the long dirt road. That definitely was a long way in there.
Yeah, Dalton got the car wash that day and everything. It was pretty chaotic.
That's funny.
But those people down in there, those are the type of people that'll take care of you.
Yeah, yes, you were so right about that. Had anything gone wrong, there was no. You wouldn't have been left high and dry like they would have come out.
I'm so much more comfortable in there than I am over in Fayetteville or in Memphis or wherever else my music takes me. I'm always pretty close to home. You know,
Yes.
that's where the heart is, I think.
Yeah, I understand there, and there just seems to be less stress with that too. So definitely, that's understandable. We have been blessed with the pie wagon that it seems like no matter where we go, even when we've gone out of state, like down around Dallas, Texas, there's always either family or friends of family or somebody who knows us. And so my husband and I have had that discussion about, what if something went wrong? And I said, I feel sometimes like I'm better taken care of when I'm at these places, far off, because we do know, we almost always have a point of contact, somebody who knows us or is from around home or a child or a kid of somebody from around home. So there's always a connection, it seems like, to Newton County. You can almost always find some connection, it seems like. So.
A lot of that ties into like where we're from. Like people love Newton County. They love to visit Newton County. They love to live in Newton County. And the things that we might take for granted, they look forward to every year. And it's taken me a while to realize that, but it's just truly awesome that we get to live where we live.
And, we are definitely very fortunate in that. So it is beautiful, and then just the people are great. It's definitely wonderful. Now you have a favorite fried pie flavor.
I absolutely do.
Tell us about your favorite fried pie flavor.
My favorite fried pie flavor is very by far and away the blackberry pie, and it's just I've always liked it. I mean, my dad loves blackberry cobbler, blackberry everything, and I always, growing up, he would, make me try blackberry stuff, and I didn't particularly love it, but whenever I tried Shelly Beth's blackberry pie, I was my mind was changed. Because it wasn't just one; it had to be like 3.
Awesome. Well, good. We're glad that you liked them. Now, did you ever pick blackberries growing up?
Some. Dad showed me how to like tell the difference between when it was ripe and when it wasn't.
Yes.
But yeah, just a lot of. Now we never did it to like make pies with them. Not much that I can remember, but. My dad's now his parents probably did. My grandmother probably did. She was old school on everything, except she wouldn't drink cow's milk. They milked cows for like 70 years.
Was she
family
just opposed?
And she would not drink milk that was from a cow that wasn't from the store.
Really?
She was 2% all the way through. Yeah, it was like very recently.
Was it a flavor thing or just the concept?
I think it's like a texture, like the consistency probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, but her. Like there was just some things that she was not old fashioned about, she did not want, and she was the same way I am about cutting wood.
Yes. It sounds like your family like wore y'all out on that. Maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just a way of life,
Yes. Well, I told you earlier about my dad. He would butcher a hog every year. I did not like pork growing up, and it's not my most favorite to eat. And I think there was something about that smell. They would process it in the house. I was like that. Like your grandma was probably about milk. Like there was just something about it that I didn't like. Of course, they would still get it. That my mom would hide it in things and tell me it was beef and all this other stuff. But anyway, I swear I could tell. But now the blackberries, those were. We think my dad may have planted some back early 80s. They're not wild. The wild are pretty small. Mm-hmm. But these that we pick on our farm or that I have for years, they're bigger. They're not a dewberry, but they're pretty good size. And they do have a seed in them. But we think maybe he had got them from a cousin and had planted them. We have a spring that runs through near our house. And so he'd planted them along that. And the best I can tell, they just kind of took off. And I mean, you know how blackberries grow, especially like if you're a farmer, you fight them nonstop. Yeah. But I had persuaded my mom and my stepdad to let them grow because I enjoyed picking them. So for years, I enjoyed picking blackberries, and that may make me kind of weird. I also liked picking poke salad growing up. But I would pick these blackberries and I would sell them for like $10 or $12 a gallon. And I did that for like 2 decades, probably 20 years or so. And then I started the pie business, and I was still picking them and selling them, And I kept thinking, there's got to be a way to put these in a pie. There has to be a way. Mm-hmm. So I started experimenting, and I tried to, just cook different blackberry mixtures and put them in the pie. But inevitably, it was a disaster. They would bust. It would be too runny. Mm-hmm. It would bust through the dough, and I would have just a terrible mess in the frying pan, and I'd have to throw it all out. And so I just kept on and kept on and kept on. And I kept on until I finally figured out this this recipe that has the blackberry pies, it's a custard. It's a blackberry custard is what it is. So we strain the blackberries, we put them in an old-fashioned, strainer, and we get the juice, and then we turn it into a custard. So it has a lot of egg yolks and eggs and sugar and lemon juice and everything in it, and makes it thick, and it's just, we love it. It's probably the one, if I was going to enter them in the fair, blackberry is one that I would enter.
I'm telling you, you would win if I was the judge, because
thanks, Walker. It's one of my favorites. It's the one of them I guess I'm the most proud of, because I feel like it literally has blood, sweat, and tears in it, because when you pick them, that, like, it is this, they talk about thorns on a rose, but I think they need to write you all need to write songs about thorns on blackberry bushes.
That's Anthony. That's Anthony's. That's right up his alley.
I'll put him on that.
Put him on that.
Because it is. We have laughed and said they should cost more. Like, fried pies should be, if they're blackberry, it should cost double.
I would pay. I mean, I don't care. Triple.
Good to know, Walker. Good to know. So, but it is one that we are proud of. But we kind of outgrew that, and I don't have time now to pick the blackberries every summer, because I'm too busy making pies. So we buy them now from down around Clarksville. I think it's called Knoxville Berry Farm. And then sometimes we get them from Mountain Home. They have a berry farm as well. And sometimes here in Harrison, Fenton, we'll buy them from them as well. But we go through many gallons of blackberry each summer. And then that's one that it's kind of seasonal, in that we buy those fresh blackberries and we get the juice, and then we freeze the juice. So we're able to make the blackberries that fill in throughout most of the year. Peach is another one. You talked about that one earlier. Peach is one that's seasonal. That's one of our biggest sellers. But we only use fresh, locally grown peaches. We do not use canned anything. So we don't use canned or frozen peaches. And so that was another one. There's so many kinds of peach recipes for peach pie filling, whether it be regular pie, I call them pie pies, or fried pies. But it's hard to get them sometimes to get a filling that works for us, because it has to be able to go into that pie dough, to be frozen, to be transported and fried with a low casualty rate. I can't have a bunch of them busting on me when we have people lined up at the pie wagon. So the peach one was one that we have tried for years. We tried so many recipes, and we finally, a couple years ago, settled on a recipe that works for us. But we only use we've got to where we only use peaches from Johnson County. So I'll drive down to, I say Johnson County, I guess it's Johnson and Pope, but I drive to Peach Pickin' Paradise in Clarksville and buy them fresh. And then also there's another place outside of Dover called Drury Farms. We buy them from them as well. But they pick them at their, they're ripe, they're ready to go. I get them home and they're ready. And so in the summer we go into maximum peach production. And so there for about a month, that's all we produce are peach pies. And then we freeze them raw. And then we have enough. Right now, we're getting towards the end of it. So we'll probably have enough peach to get us through about the end of February. And then we'll be out until about July. But that has been interesting. Those and apples are interesting in that I didn't know much about varieties when I started. But I feel like apples, I've become like a variety expert. And I'm becoming a variety expert on peaches, because each variety has a different moisture content. And you talked about your grandma cooking by, taste and feel. And that's the way if it's fresh fruit, blackberry not so much, blackberry too, because there's different varieties and evidently they have a different sugar content, and that determines the thickness of them based on how we cook them. But the peaches are one that, the first season, like at the first of the season, there's certain varieties that come off, and some of those don't have a lot of flavor. They're kind of drier. And then, you have your peak season about the end of July, and then you get into the end of August and you get to some that are just too runny. And so we, not just any peach will do for us. Right. And apples are the same way. We tend to, my favorite time to make apples are in the fall when we can get them from Friend's Orchard here local. And we like the combination of Golden Delicious and Jonathan. But sometimes throughout the year, we have to supplement that. And so sometimes we'll use Gala and Fuji, and we do not use any Granny Smiths. We've not had good luck with those. Red Delicious, just chunk them outside. Those are terrible. They're the devil.
I didn't realize there was different strains of apples.
I'm telling you, you try to cook with them, and it'd be like it's like trying to probably play music with different brands of steel guitars.
Yeah,
like,
only Showbud. That's all I play.
Only Golden Delicious.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that
Showbud's
has been
it. That's it.
So that has led to, I feel like I kind of the scientist in me has come out in that experimenting of what works and what doesn't work. Now, some flavors like cherry, we buy frozen cherries, but they're the sweet cherries, they're not the sour. I'm trying to think the others. I always go alphabetically in my mind. So apple, apricot, we use dried apricots, and those, there's a few different varieties of apricots. We have found that for our market, just I call it run-of-the-mill sulfured apricot works. It's the flavor that a lot of the older generation remembers from childhood. I'm not quite sure why. I feel like there's stories there, but I don't know if they grew apricots or if they came on commodity. I don't really know, but there's some reason that certain regions that we go to, that especially that older generation, they love those apricot pies. Blackberry we talked about, cherry. Chocolate, our chocolate is there's two different camps for chocolate. You have people who love, we call it the grit chocolate. It's kind of like what they have in the chocolate rolls. It's kind of that thick, rich. It's almost gritty. It's very, I don't know, you probably know the difference.
It's good.
It's delicious. So some people make chocolate pies out of that filling that has the cocoa and the butter. Ours is more of a pudding consistency. It's not a pudding mix. We make it from scratch, but it is more of a pudding consistency, kind of milk chocolatey. So, but people like one or the other, we have found. So some people love our chocolate pies and others, they don't care about it.
Well, chocolate's my second favorite, so I can attest the chocolate pies are good.
Thank you.
I don't care what anybody else thinks, they're good.
Well, I think you almost can't go wrong with chocolate. I would eat them whether it's the grit kind or whether it's the pudding kind. But this pudding one works for us. So right now, it's the only chocolate we have. We've talked about trying to offer some other options, but I've not had time to experiment with those. Cherry, lemon cream. Now that was one we kept on messing with. That has real lemons in it. My cousin Jody, who has carpal tunnel. So I want people to know that, because that zest in that lemon, that hurts. But she does it for you. She does it for the customer.
Yeah, thanks, Jody.
But she zests those lemons and she juices those lemons. And so then it has whipping cream in it. So it truly is a lemon cream filling. It's not like a gel. And a lot of people use the lemon gels. And then pecan. That is one, that would be another one I'd probably enter in the fair. We get a lot of comments on pecan. If you like pecan pie, like actual round pie pies, you would love those, because they are the same. It's the same recipe. It's just that we grind those pecans finer, so it makes that filling thicker. And then peach we talked about, and then coconut cream. That's another one that I just kept messing with multiple recipes until I found what worked. And it has sweetened condensed coconut cream in it.
Oh,
so it's rich.
I
You're right. Can you really go wrong with sweetened condensed?
I'm a big snow ice cream fan.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that's good stuff too, because it means that it's a sno day.
Yeah.
So you're probably home.
Absolutely.
Probably eating cookies.
I chose a profession where I get snow days for a reason. I'm going to go outside and make some snow ice cream.
I'm not sure this year we're going to get any snow days.
I don't know.
It's craziness.
The weather in Arkansas is just... it's like a dice. Any way you roll it, you're going to get something different.
Well, I feel like this year it's rolling on the favor of warm. And I know now that we're in the pie wagon a lot, so I pay more attention to the weather, because we don't have any heating or air conditioning in that pie wagon.
Right.
So we burn up or we freeze to death if it's extreme. But this year I thought, I think I could have sold pies all through January, I feel like, and through most of December. So we'll see what February brings, but I mean, it's helped in that we've not had to sit home in snow, but definitely I can tell a difference on that for sure. Yeah. But anyway, and then in the summer too, it gets hot in that pie wagon. Oh, it gets hot in that pie wagon.
So a lot of people have, I guess, are there a lot of people that have done commercial fried pies kind of similar?
Arkansas has quite a few, actually.
Okay.
I don't want to say how many. I know off the top of my head, I think 3. They have had some that have come and gone over the last few decades, but there are some that do it commercially still, and they ship all across the nation. And we did just get our manufacturing license about a year and a half ago, and so that is a component of it that I would like to work more on. We enjoy taking the pie wagon places, but I'll admit that that's not my retirement plan. I don't want to be 80 years old having to climb up in the back of the truck and start the generator.
Right.
One of my goals is to get it to the point that's kind of for fun, but that we do sell them frozen to either restaurants or to individuals, and that's the main, that makes up most of our sales. So we are getting there. I mean, we sell them when we go places. We sell them frozen out of the wagon right now in little 6 packs.
I thought that was really cool. And you made some videos showing people how to...
Epic Shots helped us make those videos.
Absolutely.
And so that was a lot of fun and easy to do. And that has... we hope that takes off because they actually are easier to make than people think. And we know that. I don't know. Did anyone in your family make fried pies?
Yeah, but they weren't,
Careful what you say. They might be watching this.
Yeah, my dad tries it, and
We'll just leave it at
he
that.
makes a valiant effort, but
Well, effort's a good deal. Well, what my point of asking
I'm
that
spoiled
is,
with Shelly Beth's fried pies, okay? I'm spoiled with the pro.
financially, we would like you to keep buying from us.
Oh,
so tell
I
your
will.
dad
You
to,
don't
tell
have
your
to
dad
worry
to
about
not perfect this. But making fried pies is a mess. Like if you're, if somebody's going to make them, you don't just make a fried pie. You make
Right.
like dozens of them at the same time. And then it's kind of like making a muffin. You don't just make a muffin. You have to make a bunch of. So you have to make your filling. And if you make it good, you make it from scratch. And then you make your dough. And if you make it good, you make it from scratch. And there's flour everywhere. And there's sugar everywhere. And there's Crisco everywhere. And it is a mess. And then you got to cook and you got to clean up. So we love having them frozen because literally all you do is take them out. They're frozen and you throw them in the grease and they're ready. So we want to bring that deliciousness. And they can make that memory, but yet not have that mess. It's the memory without the mess. That's really it.
Right.
But this
That's
has
a great
brought about
idea.
something really interesting. As we've sold these frozen pies, a lot of people, more than I thought, they'll buy them from us and then they ask for directions and we start telling them how to deep fry them or skillet fry them. And they'll say, oh no, we're just going to air fry them.
Oh, no.
You cannot do that. This is a fried pie. And I have realized, oh my goodness, like our society has shifted so that air fry equals fried.
Nope.
So we are going to change our
does
name
not.
to Shelly Beth Deep Fried Pies.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Just to clear up that
Please.
confusion, because I thought, no.
There's nothing that kills every bit of joy in my soul than seeing somebody whip out an air fryer and thinking that's,
It's just not as
I
good.
want the grease and
Yes.
the
And if you're going to go with fried pies, like embrace it. Like just cheat and fry
it's
them.
a cheat
You're gonna
meal.
have to.
It is
And
a cheat meal.
It is interesting though, because a lot of them, as soon as they hear they have to have grease, they're like, "No, we don't have grease.
Oh my
We're not going to
gosh.
fry." And I've realized this is in the South too. So that has been an aha moment for me to realize that not everybody's upbringing was like mine, and not
Right.
everybody's kitchen counters look like mine,
Right.
and a lot of people's waistlines don't look like mine.
Right. Well, I wouldn't say
You
that.
can't dress
but
as skinny
a lot
cook.
a lot of people, there's not a skinny guy in my family, okay? My grandma cooked good, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud to know
Yes,
her.
a lot of times it
And-
comes with those good memories. So, but
Yeah.
that has been it's been interesting the last year as we've made these observations because humans are an interesting lot. You know?
Oh, yeah,
And so
they are.
I've
sure.
learned to not make assumptions. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
realize people would.
Yeah.
So, a lot of this though, and this would be my main problem. Keep in mind, I can't cook anything. It's hard for me to boil water. Okay, I have a terrible time with cooking.
Well, you can't do everything. You can play steel guitar.
Yeah. I mean,
And you
like,
clog, so.
yeah, I can kind of clog if I've got a lot of adrenaline. But I can't cook that well. But you make this video and you show the people how. My problem is I don't have the hindsight to, from experience, know how to even get the stuff going. So I just always buy fresh Shelly Beth's pies. Find that pie wagon. I've drove a long way. One time, this is a memory that I'll remember forever. My grandma that we talked about earlier, she saw that on Facebook that you were going to be in Mount Judy. I said, Nana, we don't need to go down there to Mount Judy for the fried pies. I said, I love the fried pies. They're good. I said, but, I got so much stuff to do. Well, she just let on like it was the end of the world. And so, sure enough, that we packed up and the whole family drove down to Mount Judy. And
I love it.
yeah, it was just.
That is awesome.
She was a big fan of yours, and she had she admired the old-fashioned homemade recipes, and that was something that's going to get lost eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. Well, that's an honor. That is a wonderful honor for you to say that. That's a compliment that she enjoyed them. like that. And your family has supported us well.
We,
So we thank you
we
for
didn't
that.
just buy a fried pie, okay? We stocked up.
You have to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
Well, they actually, a lot of people ask too, they'll buy them fried. They'll ask about freezing them, but you can take them home and freeze them once they're fried, and we sell them to you. If you get them in the freezer quick, like don't leave them on the counter for a week, but get them home, get them in the freezer. And I laugh and say they're a 10 out of 10 if you buy them from us fresh. But if you take them home and freeze them and then heat them up in your oven, they're about a 7 to 8 out of 10. Yeah, they're still pretty good. So that is a unique thing about our fried pies. That a lot of fried pies get soggy and they're just different, but ours are a crust that is flaky and it retains that consistency.
Which is a skill set of its own.
It is
to be able to do that.
It is, and I didn't come up with that. I mean, I had a cousin Mary and my mom who used this recipe. We have tweaked it some, but I tell the story about I called it pie training with cousin Mary. She has passed, Miss Mary Flood Middleton, but she was a pastor's wife, and she laughed and said she put many down payments and made many payments on church buildings with her fried pies because she would fry them and sell them. But I did one day where she just let me come and we just fried pies all day. I'll say all day long. It was quite a few hours, and she just worked with me on that technique. It's kind of like what you were talking about. That dies if you lose a generation that has that. It's really hard to regain that back. But I went through and learned her technique, and that was it was a very important day because I learned so much that day, and that transformed kind of how we make pies. And so I joke and say she was like, how you had the Butterball Turkey phone number you can call at Thanksgiving if something goes wrong. Mary was my Butterball Turkey number. Like I would call her and be just having a fit because they would not be working. They would be disintegrating. And she had a list of questions she'd ask. Well, what type of flour? What brand of flour? What type of this? What type of that? And so it definitely helped to have her nearby. So she was the Jerry Lee and the J.W. Smith of my fried pies.
That's awesome.
So,
that's awesome.
But I have some fried pies here. Do you want to eat any of these, Walker?
I do want to indulge. I will happily have one.
Okay.
Just keep the camera off me because I'm an ugly eater. Shelly Beth's going to tell you everything about her, and I'm going to be feasting. So.
Now, these are pie roulette. It's a fun game we like to play where we don't label them.
Oh, okay. All right.
So the reason for that is because when I fry a bunch of flavors like this, I just throw them in the fryer, the deep fryer. I don't know which is which. And so when I get them out, I could give them little belly buttons and poke them and see, or it's just as fun to do this.
All right.
So there are some extra cherry and lemon because I know that Jason likes those. So just feel free to eat however many you want. There is a blackberry in there. You can try them all. You can give a rating if you wanted to of any of them. I didnn't bring napkins or anything.
Nope, I'm going to need some because this is going to get messy. In front of me, I have some of the best fried pies this side of the Mississippi River, and made...
Thanks for the plug.
Made with love from Shelly Beth Tomlinson. And tell us a little bit about how you came up with each pie recipe and how I know they all have their own story, right?
Yeah.
But tell us a little bit about your technique and how you've developed that while I'm going to eat.
Okay.
Pies.
All right. You go right ahead. You can give us ratings and reviews because it is pie roulette, so I did not label them. He doesn't know what he's biting into. Before I tell this, are there any pie flavors you are opposed to?
No.
Okay. There's even a raisin cream in there.
Oh.
Is that like a oh no?
This is the best episode of Steelin for Livin we've ever had, folks.
That's hilarious. He may change. Instead of focusing on music, he's going to start doing only food reviews.
Oh, this is great.
I feel like this is, they have the ones where you eat they have the famous people and they eat the hot sauce.
Yeah. This is so much better. I hate hot stuff, so this is amazing.
I should have brought you some milk. So that one is lemon, it looks like.
Lemon, and it is incredible. How do you make this one?
So that one, she zests the lemons. She uses whipping cream. It is a dairy-based. All of them do have dairy in them. They have dairy in the crust. But that one is, I'll tell you this. So they have little personalities, and my stepdaughter kind of determined that. And we've laughed and said that one is cantankerous. So when I'm frying pies and we're stressed, I don't like it when people order lemon because they bust. I don't know the science of that. It's like somehow the filling swells. So I'll put them in and I'll be stressed and somehow they can sense it and then they just erupt and then there's lemon stuff all over the fryer. It's a mess. So that one is my least favorite to fry, but it does have real lemon zest, it has real lemon juice, it has whipping cream in it, some egg yolks, and it's just creamy and light. It's not that thick gel.
It is incredible, I'm telling you.
Yes. And there is another lemon in here somewhere that I brought for Jason, but we're not going to know until he bites into it.
I'm going to give the lemon
Yes.
a 9.3.
Okay.
Jason looks at me like I just made an asinine statement. I did, probably.
Do you like lemon anything else?
I'm not a huge lemon person, but I don't hate it. I like some lemon stuff. But that lemon flavor is awesome.
Thank you. I will tell this story as well. So Miss Imogene is the lady that often works the window for me. She's amazing. She does not like lemon anything. She's opposed to lemon. So when people ask, I would like some lemon pie or should I buy the lemon, she has worked really hard on a neutral answer. So instead of being like, no, she'll say, well, it's a real popular pie. Or people who like lemon really like this lemon pie. So she's done really good about that. So
all right.
Drum roll. What's the next one?
All right.
That is not a lemon.
Okay.
I think that's a cherry, actually.
This is a cherry?
Yes. Yes. There should be two
Look
cherry
at that crust. That's what I'm talking about. That's an American crust right there. All right.
So we're actually, while you're biting into that, we have tried a few new things with the same recipe for our crust. It's just we're trying to alter it a little bit so it's more durable. Because when people at home fry them, we don't want them to have, to lose any of them. Zero casualties is our goal. So that reason that one is so flaky is because I tried something different with the order in which I added them and how we mixed them. And dummy me did that, and we made probably 600 pies that way. And I started frying them 2 weeks ago and realized this is less durable. They fall apart on me. So that's one of those. So we've got to get through those before I can make some more that are going to be durable. What do you think about cherry?
Is cherry one of the most popular flavors?
Depends on where we're at. Let's start with this. Do you like cherry flavors and other stuff?
Generally not.
Okay.
That cherry was good. That was a good cherry pie.
Thanks for the plug again. Thanks for helping me hawk my goods there.
That was good.
Are there any flavors you think you won't like?
Probably my least favorite would probably be pecan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good deal.
Generally anything fruit I'm good to go with, but pecan I'm not a big pecan guy.
Okay. Well, we have found with cherry, this is kind of an interesting story as well. So depending on where we go, flavors are regional. And I'll come back to that in a minute. But where we sell a lot of cherry is at these festivals where there's a lot of women, so craft shows, because they come by and we call them husband pies. They want to take home a little box for their husband. They'll be loaded down with hundreds of dollars worth of fun stuff and things that they're going to decorate with, but they'll come get a little box of pies to take home to the husband, and they typically get cherry. So that's made me wonder if, in general, is that like the flavor preference of the genders? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably a seasonal thing. But
that
cherry
too.
pie, when I think of pies, the first flavoring I think of is cherry.
Yes. So it is.
Or apple, which I'm not a big apple fan either. But that's just, that's just kind of me. The apple pies, I'm sure, are phenomenal. Actually, I know they're phenomenal because when Jason and I edit, he gets pies.
Yes.
Sometimes he'll get apple, and I will happily eat an apple.
And that's the best with ice cream. So
the cherry though, I'm gonna go ahead and give a 9.4.
Okay.
I think that the 9.4 fits the cherry. Like I said, you got to save room at the top because I know where the top is. Okay. We're getting there, but
we're going to predict it. So I'm going to bet Blackberry's probably going to be a 10 or 9.9. That's hilarious. That's smart of you to leave room.
Yeah, you got to leave room
for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave Portnoy, who is the Barstool Sports guy, and he does pizza reviews all around the country. His goal is to get to and so my friends and I, we watched that, especially during COVID, because he would get frozen pizzas sent to him.
Oh,
and
that's
he would,
awesome.
Yeah. But so he does the scale, and his scale is very tough. Like, so, getting in the 9s is a big thing for him because he does thousands of different pizzas. But yeah, I definitely give the cherry a 9.4. That was really good.
Thanks.
That was really good. And
Well, don't score them so high that you lose credibility. Like.
Oh, no, I'm not
Okay.
going to lose credibility.
Okay. Well, while you could dive into the next one, I'll tell this story. So my husband is he's very honest, and he should have been a food critic, but he and a cousin actually are the ones who, when I first started, they would tell me, this isn't good, or you're going to need to change and do this, or it needs more sugar, less this, more that. So even though it would anger me at the time, I'm grateful that he did. But his pickiness and his particularness is probably partly to blame for the high rankings that some of these get. So.
Yeah, I'm not particular. I'm not extremely particular, but on food I am. I'm pretty particular, because I was a picky eater growing up, and I've just started expanding my horizons. They say, I've heard this rumor that your taste buds change every 7 years. And I believe that because I remember liking new stuff when I was 14 and 21.
28 is going to be a different one too.
28, I'm going to start eating beans,
Well, that's what I was fixing to ask. What are things you don't like or you're opposed to when you...
Things that I don't like, very simple. Beans, tomatoes. Yeah, I know, right?
Say it ain't so, Walker.
Yeah, beans and tomatoes. Now, it gets a little kind of blurry on some of that stuff, but those are generally, I hate black-eyed peas. We had those for New Year's. And,
Walker.
Yeah. We had black-eyed peas and hog jaw. And,
no, black-eyed peas are one of my favorite. Black-eyed peas and fried squash, yellow squash out of the garden, are my favorite meal.
I do like yellow squash.
Love them.
My dad and uncle ate beans and cornbread, brown beans and cornbread, every single lunch that I'm aware of for most of their adult life. And I just never could get into the beans. It's a texture thing, and I think the peas are a lot of the same way with me.
Yeah, I could see if you don't like one. They're close families there.
Yeah,
close relations.
They finally got me on cornbread, and I'm a big cornbread fan, but I just like cornbread and butter, no beans. So yeah, those are really the only two foods though that I'm just
But 28.
Oh, I hate spaghetti too. I hate spaghetti, which is I love chicken Alfredo, but I hate spaghetti. I don't know. It's one of those things you kind of got to work too hard to eat it, and
it's not worth it.
It's not.
That makes sense. I could see that.
But my mom tried for how old am I now? 23.
Yeah.
My mom tried for 23 years to get me to like spaghetti, and about last year she finally just gave up. She said, "I'm done. I'm not cooking you no more spaghetti." And I'm like, "Thank God you should have figured that out whenever I was like 6, But no.
Well, that's most kids seem to like spaghetti, so that's surprising.
No,
that's interesting.
I was pretty blessed to have some really good cooks in my life. And they never forced anything on me. They let me try stuff, and if I didn't like it, they didn't make me eat it, which, a lot of times that can lead to people being really picky. Yeah. But in my case, it led to me exploring these new foods as I got older and finding out that I liked them. I was that way for a long time with morel mushrooms. I wouldn't eat morel mushrooms at all. But now I can eat several of them. Not a bunch because they're really rich. You ever fried morel mushrooms?
Yes, it has been a long time.
They're
I think we've not had them
rich.
since my dad passed away.
Yeah, my dad just gets out the lard and goes to town. But yeah, that's it. That's pretty much the foods I don't like. I'm pretty flexible.
Interesting. Okay, well,
right,
there are no spaghetti pies. You'll just have to bust into them and see.
Well, I don't want to get the two of the same one.
I honestly don't know. But you could just, I bet you that is lemon because it has that look about it. That one is probably cherry because that's another one. Jason, I think we have two here that you can have.
Jason, here's your pies.
We think. We think.
He just gave the victory celebration.
We'll put them over here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to touch these. Is that okay?
No, that's fine. That's fine.
All right. I never touch food without gloves. Never.
You're good.
I don't know what these are. You're probably just going to have to bust into them.
All right. Let's bust into one.
Because from here on out, it's probably like one of everything. Apple.
Apple.
So
All right.
my husband calls this the boring one.
Okay.
Because it's just plain old apple.
Okay.
It literally only has apples, different varieties, but has apples, cinnamon, and sugar. That's all
Okay.
that's in it.
Okay.
And so it's good. It's a good apple pie, but it's nothing off the charts. But it's one of our top sellers because people just like that American apple pie.
Right,
And
right.
so they tend to get it. It's great with ice cream, but
And also, Jason, I'm saving you a half of each of these pies because I don't want to go into a diabetic coma because I will. I'm practicing self-control. Mom, be proud.
and they're little. They're diet pies because they're little. So if you're only eating half, I think that's just fine.
This is the best episode of Stealing for a Living ever. Travis, I'm sorry.
That's hilarious.
Oh. Yeah, I really didn't know how much I would like this one, but I really like it.
You do like that
I really
one?
like this.
Okay.
This is going to be a 9.1.
Okay.
I really like it.
Okay.
It's not too sweet. It's not too savory.
Yes.
You can tell that Shelly has put so much work into this, and it's showing.
Well, thanks. Well, my cousin Jody and my Aunt Darlene, they make the raw ones, and then Imogene and I travel all over and fry them. But the apple is one that if I'm there when we make the filling, I tend to add more cinnamon, sometimes too much, almost to the point of being bitter. So that one will be a little bit different depending on who was working at the pie factory. We call it when it was made.
You've done some meat pies too, right?
Yes, we have done some meat pies. Those are a little bit trickier because we do not have a manufacturing permit for those, so we don't do those frozen, and we don't mix them with these, and everything's separate with that. So if I'm rolling up somewhere for me to fry a meat pie, the conditions have to be just right. Like if we're real busy, I can't because we're putting out as many dessert pies as we can. And so the meat pies, I tend to only really try them when we're around here, pretty close. But hopefully this year and next year we can kind of expand on that, and be permitted a little bit different so that we're able to do those. But we do get we have got more positive feedback off of those than I thought we
I have tried them, and they were really good. Actually,
thank
I was actually impressed.
Thank
and
you.
I think a lot of the reason why these scores are consistently high is because of the crust.
Yeah,
The crust is
you're right.
half of the flavor.
Yeah, you're so right about that. And the first bite that people take, they almost always bite into the edge, and that's like 90% crust, But I'm that way with cobblers. Like to me, the best cobblers, it doesn't really matter the fruit if I want that crust to be good.
Yes, and that's if you can. A lot of the problems I would say that people have with fried pies is they either burn them or they don't get them crispy enough.
Yes. And people, when they make them at home, I always say, you want them to be darker than cardboard, So like, it's hard sometimes for people to gauge, but you want to be brown.
Yeah.
We've had some people that they've kind of said some rude comments. They'll come up and look and be like, "Those are burned," or "You're cooking those too long." I'm like, it's a different crust.
Tell them to call
You
Walker
shut
Robinson.
your mouth. Yeah.
Tell them to call Walker
Walker
Robinson.
said.
I'll tell you about. I've never had a Shelly Beth pie that was burnt. I've
It's
never
because
had.
I hand them out the back. They get given away.
Is that
free.
the ones that you give to Anthony?
Yeah, Anthony gets them. The ones I dropped, the ones they burned. All of those go to Anthony. Yeah, that's right.
All right. Let's see here. Did you put them?
They're all mixed.
Different?
They should all be different.
Okay.
These should have been the only two that were duplicates.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
we're just gonna
And
go
while
in the
you're
middle
busting
here.
into that one, so we have found that pie flavors are regional. What do you got there?
Chocolate.
Hey, okay.
All right.
Good deal.
I'm gonna eat half. Jason, you're gonna get half.
Oh, look at you sharing. That's sweet.
I'm doing this for my own good. I want to eat the whole thing.
I should have brought you some milk if you were going to eat the whole thing.
So the chocolate filling, explain it.
Yeah, so it is truly a pudding. It's a handmade pudding pie. So it's, it doesn't have egg in it, but it has milk and it has cocoa and butter, a lot of butter, some salt, some vanilla. It's just a basic, it's kind of like a chocolate gravy. A lot of times people equate it to that, like a thick chocolate gravy. To me, it tastes kind of a milk chocolatey kind of texture, real smooth. And like I said, some people like that grit, so they don't like that. It's not rich enough. And we respect that. I love the grit ones as well, so it's a little bit different with that. That's our #1 seller with kids. They, of course, it's easier to persuade a kid to try a chocolate pie than a coconut pie.
So they try blackberry.
That's true. If they're smart kids, then they'll like those blackberry. But we have found, we've been in the pie trailer about 5 years, and it's taken this long for us to kind of see the patterns where we go. Because when you go, we've learned you don't load the same number of every flavor because you're not going to sell the same number of every flavor. So if it's an event that has kids, we pack a whole lot of chocolate. And then if it's an event in River Valley, like Russellville, Clarksville area, they love apricot.
Really?
And so that's it. I find that intriguing, but that's probably the biggest seller there. If we go to Little Rock, well, I'll tell you where you don't sell apricot is in Newton County. If I'm going to forget a flavor when I sit up at Jasper, it needs to be apricot. I may go all day and only sell 2 or 3 apricot pies.
Wow.
Yeah, but in the River Valley, it's apricot all the time.
So that was one of my other questions for you is, so whenever you set up shop, do you cook everything to order?
Kind of. So we learned that people have a McDonald's mentality. They love the speed of just ordering a pie and taking off. And a lot of times if they have to wait a long time, they won't, Right. So we roll up with them, they're frozen raw. So I fry them. It takes about 8 minutes to fry them. So we try to always keep, depending on where we are, about 4 of each flavor on the table. Because typically when people come, they typically aren't going to buy more than 4 of each flavor. So if I sell that, I'll put more in the fryer. So we try to keep them always warm. So if they've set out more than a couple of hours and they've started to get cold, we'll discount them or we give them away, or I won't fry that flavor. So we try to always keep a fresh supply, but yet we want to have enough there that if somebody comes and places an order for a dozen pies, we can fill that order and they can go on their way. But large orders, some people order 60, 70, 80 pies. We appreciate if they'll call and let us know ahead of time so that we can. But inevitably, you know how life is.
If you ever order 60 or 70 pies, why don't you call me? You can email me at walkerrobinsonsteelguitar@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to help you take care of those.
When they stop, I'll be like, have you called Walker? Does Walker know you're here?
So, one of the things that I've always kind of admired about, especially food trucks and especially, mobile cooking rigs, is that, somehow, not everybody does this, but a lot of times people are able to find that perfect balance of, I don't want to waste my stuff, but I also don't want to make people wait for 10 minutes while I cook.
Yes.
So, that would be my biggest problem. That's what I would be worried about constantly.
Yeah. Well, and it took a long time. Again, we've been at this 5 years. The first year or two, it was crazy the amount of food. Well, I say food waste. You just didn't know. You didn't know. You had no clue when to stop frying because, if we close at 5, do we quit frying at 4? Do we fry until 5? So we have kind of figured it out now. We figured out what to do there, kind of to slack off. So through the day, if we're somewhere that's busy, we try to keep, if it's real busy, like a festival, we may always try to keep a full row of 8 to 12 of each flavor. And then when it gets about closing time, we'll do about, we might only keep 6 on the table of that one, and then down at 2 when it's fixing to close. And so, we've also learned that, at the end of the day, there's almost always someone that'll surprise us. They'll come at the very end and they'll be like, do you have any pies left?
Me.
That's Walker. And so we've learned to try to keep a few on hand for those people, those late arrivals. But I would say we have kind of, I don't want to say mastered it, but we've certainly done a lot better at figuring out how to not have that food waste. And we did, as we cook throughout the year, we'll try new flavors, or we'll try, like I was saying, a new little something different with the dough. And when we make those batches, a lot of times they maybe weren't a real big hit, so we just keep them in the freezers. And the last 2 years, we have given them out at the Mount Judy Christmas Parade.
Nice.
So we fried almost 500 pies this past December, and we package them, and then we just hand them out at the parade the people along the way. And then the year before that, we gave out a bunch of chocolate pies, I think around 300. So we found that, it's fun, but it also is an opportunity for us to offload our mistakes and our confusions and the flavors that weren't the biggest hit, like strawberry custard wasn't a big hit this year, so we got rid of a lot of them that way. So
I bet that was good, though.
I liked it. It's a similar recipe to the blackberry, but with strawberry. Some people liked it, some didn't. You probably would have then. I think we still have some in the very bottom of the freezer. I should have brought you some.
That's all right. That's all right.
And I forgot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. That's one of the cool things to me is that how quickly you develop a system. It's kind of like playing music, You develop a system super quick, and you figure out what works and what doesn't work.
Yes.
And then, that's what it's all about.
Yes,
It's
and you have to be
finding a
able to
balance.
pivot. You know, if this doesn't work, you better do something different.
Yes, and you've got to be able to improvise on the run. That's
Yeah.
that's one of the other cool things about, you know, the similarities in our professions.
You're right about that, because our customers and your listeners, you know, they're not the same everywhere you go.
Right.
And I'm sure y'all have found that certain areas like certain types of music more so than others. And
Yeah. Oh yeah. 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 You know, it's all. And luckily, I get to play in a band with Anthony Kent, and he can gauge that better than anybody I've ever played with. He has got an innate ability to just find out what people like, and I've seen him get up on. We were playing a 16-year-old's birthday party once. Okay, just a 16-year-old birthday. Of course, these are 16-year-old kids. They're not drinking. They're not cutting up. You know, they're just there, food, drinks, having games and stuff. Family fun. And Anthony, I'm like, yeah, this is gonna be a slow one, because you know all the kids set off to the side. Here comes Anthony up on the mic, and he's just like we're playing at that arena. He was just letting them have it, and sure enough, not long after, here come the 16-year-olds dancing and having a good time. But Anthony's got that thing. He can either get on your level if you're the richest man in the lower 48, or if you're a 16-year-old kid that's just wanting to have a good time, he can get on that level, and that is what makes him incredible, and I'm very blessed to play with him.
yes, very flexible, very innovative. That's a skill that
Yeah.
not everybody has it, but it's a good skill to have. I'd put it up there with, you know, with patience and and intellect.
Yeah.
Innovativeness.
Well, he doesn't have those. All right, I'm now going to try the peach pie by Shelly Beth's Fried Pies, deep fried pies.
That's
Sorry.
right.
Yeah,
From
no air fryer. This
Nope.
this was not an air fried pie. All right, here we go.
It is loaded with grease, sugar, all the good things. All right, we got peach here. Gonna get Walker Robinson's take on peach, made with Johnson County peaches.
You ever walked outside and felt a cold wind hit the back of your neck? That's how I felt whenever I bit into that pie. That is a 9.6.
You heard it here, ladies and gentlemen.
This is the best episode. I don't know what we can do to top this. I could go skydiving and I wouldn't have as much fun as I'm having
I'm
right now.
telling you, he's gonna switch. Walker Robinson is now, instead of stealing for a living, it's gonna be like tasting for a living, or. Well, peach is. We get a lot of positive comments about peach. I think people can tell that they are fresh peaches. They're not. And we tried some. I had people try to convince me to use the canned and the frozen, and I did not. I could tell a difference, a significant difference. So I was not proud of it. And if I'm not proud of it, we don't sell them. So.
Well, I just admire the effort that goes into them. You could
Thanks.
so easily buy, you know, just the bottom of the meal, cheap ingredients,
Yes.
and make your fried pies, and probably make them good enough just with your crust that you'd have, you know. And I'm sure a lot of people do that, you know, they do fried pies. But you are going out and getting real ingredients, spending real time on this. And that's something I can appreciate as an artist. Because, you know, with AI and everything
Yeah.
else that's happening in the world right now, you know, people really don't respect real artists. But this is art.
Thank
This
you.
is really art. And, you know, being able to do it consistently, I admire consistency. And I've never had one, like I said, that was burnt or undercooked. So
Well, thank you very
I
much.
definitely admire these.
Thank you very much. Well, we have probably the maddest I have ever been in the pie experience, because I'm over there in the, you know, on the side of the pie wagon. I do all the frying, and then there's usually a face of the pie wagon that's not me, because I'm sweat pouring, you know, stressing over on the side. But sometimes it's not a common thing, but every once in a while somebody will get one and they'll make a comment, you know, about how this is a lot of money for a little pie, or this isn't much pie for that money. And I've got to where I don't just listen. Like, I come over there to the window and I start asking questions, you know, and some of them have said, you know, well, Grandma used to make it, and she only charged, you know, 50 cents for hers, or so-and-so down the street made them and they only charged such and such. And, you know, Granny didn't have overhead. Like,
How much did Granny pay for a gallon of gas? is my
that too.
question.
And Granny probably didn't have employees. She didn't make
Right.
didn't have payroll. She didn't pay for a tundra and a food trailer and the insurance
Right.
and the gas
There's
and
a
the
whole
you know,
lot that goes
there's
into it.
so much that goes into it. And I we don't get that often at all. So
Yeah.
it is a rare thing. But I have got to where I will state my thoughts on that and ask questions, you know. And first thing I ask them is, well, how much do you think we have in this pie? Like when you get it from us, how much do you think we financially have in this pie? And then we have a conversation from there. I don't yell or anything, but I just think sometimes people, they don't think about what goes into the pie. It's like what you're talking about with that talent, the time that goes into that practice and the money that goes into the travel. And there's just a lot that goes into a product that people oftentimes don't think about.
Right.
And so it's most people, thankfully, I think, understand. I hope anyway. So
Well, if they don't, just call me.
Okay.
And
we'll talk them through
we'll address that, yeah. Because I'm telling you, if you wouldn't pay, I mean, what do you charge for a pie?
It varies depending on where we are, and it's
Okay.
not because some people have more money. It's because sometimes we travel further.
That's
So,
true, yeah.
so a little bit of the math behind that. You know, if you'll come to Mount Judy, and I just rolled out of bed and came down and fried it for you, you know, and I didn't really invest much time in it. You know, I'll only charge about $3 a piece, sometimes $4 a piece, depending on the day and what we have going and everything, and if I know you're not.
Yeah.
But then if we travel, so for instance, let's say we do come to Harrison or we go to Jasper, they are $4 each. And so,
I mean, if you wouldn't give $4 for one of these pies that I've scored in the 9s, you've got bigger fish to fry than needing a fried pie. You need to.
well, we always laugh and say we should keep some JJ's pies in the back. So if anybody does want a cheaper one, we can bust them out. But then if we travel further, so if we go like to Northwest Arkansas or to Little Rock, I mean, we're giving up a day of our time.
Yeah.
You've got the gas, you know, I'm paying people to go with me. Those tend to be around $5 each or 6 for $25.
Well,
We always try to do a
You also got
little
to
price
account for the
break.
fact that if you go and you're at a fair, right?
Yeah.
And I know this. We played a bunch of fairs and festivals, barbecues and tailgates or whatever. But typically fairs everything's higher.
They are.
Everything's
But
higher.
it's not, I used to think that too. Oh my goodness, they're just taking advantage of me. But I see now, like there's places that we've paid $750 to set up.
fees.
Vendor
So
fees.
you have to pay to set up your trailer.
$750 to set up, and it depends on how many days. I'll give you an example. There's an event we go to down around Little Rock. We pay $600. By the time we pay some taxes, $650. We pay the gas to get there. I pay a lady to be with me all day. We set up, but the trick is that thing is only open 6 hours. We have 6 hours to sell enough pie to pay $650 plus our cost to be in there. So those are $6 a pie. That day they're $6 for, which is, it seems outrageous, but it seems outrageous that we've paid that much, you know? So a lot of times I feel like I wish people better understood that this is not that we're making more money, it's that we're covering more costs. You know, a lot of times, and you all experience that too. You know, it's a lot more expensive to travel to Missouri than it is to do the street dance.
Well,
so.
even in you know, at $6 a piece, that's still a heck of a deal for what you're getting. That's the thing, is if you're going to pay, you know, pay for quality, you're going to get what you pay for. It's just like if you go and get a $15 discount steak, or if you go to the good steak restaurant.
Yeah, or a Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. Right, exactly.
Generally, you're going to get what you pay
Yes,
for. And
yes.
if you want to go to the gas station and buy a 99-cent JJ's pie, Go for it. But you're not going to get the experience. Every time I eat one of these things, I just close my eyes and taste because it's just incredible.
Thanks, Walker.
Let's see here.
Thank you.
What do we got here?
Oh, okay. That's an apricot.
Apricot.
Do you have you had apricot?
Never have had
Hang
apricots.
on before you bite into this. Just a moment.
I'm going to eat the small end just in case.
I will tell you that I am to apricot as Imogene is to lemon. None of us in the pie factory like apricot. So when it comes time to test it, we're always like, it's your turn. No, it's your turn. No, it's yours. It is my least favorite, but I think I don't like apricot. Okay. So let's see what you think of it,
I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to judge you.
It may be your favorite.
It's pretty good.
You like it? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, do you like tart things? Mm-hmm. Okay, because to me it's tart, kind of sour. And that one has the maximum amount of sugar it'll hold. Mm-hmm. So we get dried apricots, we soak them in water, cook them down, soften them up, and then we add sugar until they won't take any more sugar, until that sugar just turns to liquid. And then we make pies out of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the older generation really like apricot, and I need to tell Travis Holt to do research on this. I like what is it about apricot that makes the older generation like it and certain regions like
He'll
it.
come up with something.
He would.
He has got an
guarantee
answer for most of my inquiries.
And then when we went to Texas, we've been to Texas a few times. We go out kind of north of Dallas to that area, but they are fruit fans, pecan and fruit. They don't like cream pies. They don't like blackberry cream. I might as well leave chocolate at home. Really, raisin cream you can't give away. So they're more the fruit people. So
Now, have you ever been to the Strawberry Festival down there? Where's
Cabot.
that at? Cabot, yeah.
I have not, but now we go to a strawberry. I think they call it a strawberry festival. It's a one-day event up in Fayetteville, and we
Okay,
do
yeah.
really well there. That's actually what forced us to come up with a strawberry custard because we needed a strawberry
Yeah,
pie.
Nuco played out there one time, and it was
You
awesome.
did.
Yeah,
I remember that. Yes, we always feel like we follow you or
Oh,
you
yeah,
follow
yeah,
us.
there's
I don't
always
really know.
some, yeah.
We're like, oh yeah, they're buddies.
Yeah.
They're over there.
Yeah, there's always some crossover.
Yeah. Now back, we can give them our burnt pies. Save your burnt
I'm
pies. We'll
telling
give
you
them to
what.
Anthony. We love it though when we. Well, I think they should somehow be affiliated. We've got 7 South and Shelly Beth Tomlinson. We're like the official food vendor of 7 South. What do we got here?
Oh, I'm saving that one.
What is it? Is
I'm
that
saving,
blackberry?
I'm saving it. You're going to have to wait till the end of the
That's
episode, folks, for that
hilarious.
one.
Oh, rank. Don't forget to rank apricot.
Oh, apricot. To me, it was an 8.8.
Okay.
I think it was. I think it's an 8. And that's not because of your cooking. It's because of the.
No offense
I'm not
taken.
used to the apricot.
No
but it
offense
wasn't
taken.
bad. It wasn't
Right.
like you kind of scared me. You're like, I don't know if you like that, and I'm just like, okay.
I don't like it, and I'm tired of pies altogether. Like if
All
I'm,
right, no, what's this one?
that is raisin cream.
Okay.
Now, if
raisin
I'm in the pie wagon by myself and I'm starving and I can't go get food, I will eat a raisin cream because that's my favorite. It and coconut are my favorites.
Okay. All right. So how do you go about making one of these?
This is actually my mother-in-law's recipe. So, it is so good it's just falling apart. I say it's the best thing I've gotten from. This is the best thing my mother-in-law has given me, behind my husband, of course. But it is her recipe. She makes a pie out of it, like a regular pie. But I took that and we messed with it a little and we made it into a filling for ours. What do you think about it?
I do like that. That's good.
Yeah, it surprises people. This is the one that Miss Imogene is on. Her life goal is to make people accept raisin and raisin cream. And it has sour cream in it. It's raisin, sour cream. It has nutmeg, and some other things in it. It's very rich. It's a rich. To me, Imogene always says it goes well with coffee, and it would. It's the great breakfast pie, and it feels like it's healthy because it's raisin. It is a different texture than all the others. It's a different flavor than all the others.
It does, but I like the flavor. I'm a raisin guy.
Really? You eat like yogurt covered raisins for snacks?
I like chocolate covered raisins.
Oh yeah. I like chocolate covered about anything.
Yeah. I'm gonna give that a 9.1.
Okay.
I liked it. I
Okay,
really
so it
liked
ranks up there with apple. Well, our goal is to make people love raisin. And, we've probably doubled sales. I would say it used to make up like 0.1% of our sales, and it probably makes up 0.2% of our sales now. So, it used to like be here and everything else is here, and now it's like here.
What makes up what's your top seller?
Top sellers consistently are your chocolate and apple. That's not because they're the best. It's because of familiarity. People, they just know those flavors.
That's completely fair.
Yeah.
That's completely
That
fair.
is understandable. But now the ones that we get the most oohs and ahs over, if we can get them to try them or if they've tried them before, are blackberry, coconut, pecan are the 3 that we get the most comments about. So.
Okay, let's see here. This one is coconut, I guess? Using process of elimination?
Yes, I bet you're right.
Coconut?
That is coconut.
Okay.
Yes,
All
that
right.
is coconut. And it does have coconut in it. Some
Okay.
people want to know if it does. It does.
All right.
Some people don't like that texture. First, do you like coconut
I do
stuff?
like coconut,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
So,
Have you had the coconut before? Okay, here we go then.
I have. Here we go.
This is Walker trying coconut cream pie for the first time. He's thinking, processing it, mulling over it, and he decides that it would rank as a
9.5.
Oh, up there.
It's a
I'm with
9.5.
you.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
I'm a huge fan of What? Coconut cream pie. And so,
Yes.
in the fried pie, it just makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Sense. That's the thing about Shelly Beth's fried pies. It just makes sense. they
That's our new slogan. Jason, I'm gonna need a new logo. It says Shelly Beth's fried pies. They just make sense.
They just make sense. Made with love. And they just make sense.
I need to say made with love and grease. So people know that they need to fry them, not air fry. They need grease. They need grease. Now coconut, that is another one. I did not find this recipe online. We took multiple recipes and kind of pieced them together, and that's what you have. A lot of people are surprised by this one because they think it's going to be the same filling that's in a coconut cream pie. It's a little different. It's thicker. It's richer, I think. It's delicious. I love the coconut pies. So.
Wow.
I'm glad you like that.
One of the things I've noticed about other pies that I've had is that there is a distinctive hard line between the crust and the filling.
Yeah.
You have a distinct drawn in the sand line. And with these, they work together. It's hard to, but that's kind of the way I taste it, because it's like you get a little bit of filling, you get a little bit of crust, and it's just good stuff.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
This is not a paid ad. This is real time taste testing.
Thanks, Walker.
This is great.
We've laughed. You talk about being a food critic. My husband says I would be the worst food critic in the world because, and I quote myself sometimes, this is as good as what they sell at the gas station. I was talking about Crispitos one time. We had gotten some, and I was like, this is as good as what's down at the gas station. And he said, if that quote came out of your mouth, you should not be a food critic. But I am not picky enough. I'm always like, yeah, that's good. That's good enough. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm that same way. I'm not a picky person, so I don't think I would do well as a food critic.
I love everything. Now this is the last one. Is that right? Is this your blackberry?
I gotta mentally prepare for this. I'm gonna let it sit. Like they do steaks, let it sit. I went to Saltgrass up there in Branson the other night, and it was really good.
We've not eaten there in a long time, but I like Saltgrass.
I had a good steak. It was cold. The landing is always super cold. Because you got the wind and the water.
That's true. Yes.
But that steak was pretty good.
Good deal. I love a good steak. Well, speaking of steak and meat pies, I'll tell this story real quick while you're mentally preparing for blackberry. So I worked with some students at Mount Judy a couple months ago. They wanted to compete in the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission. They had a generation conservation, so they had competitions for like archery and shooting and radio tracking. I mean, I wish they'd had it when we were in school because it was a ton of fun. But they had a culinary option. And so 3 of the Mountain Judy students signed up that they wanted to take part in the culinary option. So the Game and Fish Commission gives them the ingredient. So the first round was white bass. So they made tacos out of that. They even made handmade tortillas. The second round in Little Rock, because they won at regional, the second round at Little Rock, they made had to use deer meat. Nice. So we wanted to be unique. So we made deer meat fried pies.
Nice.
And those kids made everything from scratch, the dough and everything. But they would cut up the deer meat tenderloin. They sauteed it, had a little bit of crust on it. They had grilled onions with it. And then they had made a gravy. And they had the gravy on it. And it was delicious. So anyway, they placed second and stayed with it. So yeah.
I'd love to see who first was because...
It was really, we were all very proud of them.
Now, you can't sell deer meat, is that right?
Well, I think you could probably buy some from a producer or because they have deer farms, and we may be getting beyond my source of knowledge. I should say, I think that.
Yeah. Well.
but around here, I don't know anywhere that sells legal, legit deer meat. But no, I can't legally put it in a pie. Not the deer meat we've killed around home anyway.
Well, because if you ever decide to, and you're just having them for leisure. I'll give you my email.
We were in Alaska one year, and I had a reindeer hot dog. So they were growing reindeer in farms, and I think somewhere in Colorado has the deer. They do enclosed areas, and
they have these high fence deer, which a lot of people debate the ethics of it. I don't really have an opinion each way or the other. These are gigantic bucks though, like huge, and my favorite stories are the ones of those bucks getting out and going out into the wild, and then it's a fair game, It's
You're
like,
not like cutting them out, are you?
yeah, those other deer are, I mean, the other deer are just like cattle, the ones that grow up in the high fences. But it's a lot of fun. I'm a big deer hunter. I like to deer hunt, and I like to get out there and enjoy. Most of the time, I don't even do much hunting. I just enjoy the peace and the quiet.
Yeah, I think most people do that. Well, if you bring me some deer meat, Walker, I'll make you a deer meat fried.
Okay,
I can
all
do
right.
it.
The pressure's on.
I can do it.
I actually did. I got a doe this year, and it was awesome because I hadn't killed a deer in a long time, and it was just I'd hunted this one doe, which makes no sense whenever you think about these guys that go out and hunt. But to me, a freezer full is a freezer full. The horns are just extra. So, but my grandpa was that way. He never did hunt for
For
horns,
sport?
For horns. He was just a meat hunter, and he liked it, and that was a big part of his life. But I'm getting ready to try the world famous blackberry pie by Shelly Beth's Fried Pies. And I'm not going to split this one in half because I already know the results. All right, here we go.
He's going to eat 100% of this little pie. Here, I'll talk about it while you process it. It is a custard filling. It's very creamy. It does not have any dairy in the filling. A lot of people think blackberry cream, it must have cream cheese, but it doesn't. It has margarine and eggs and sugar and lemon juice and lots of goodness, lots of sugar, some other ingredients as well. But it is a very rich filling. It's one that we're very proud of. We figured this one out from scratch. I'm gonna keep talking. It is Walker Robinson's favorite. It is made from locally grown blackberries that have been strained. It's very delicious.
If you can come up with a better fried pie from this, you'd have to let me taste it because I won't believe you. This is immaculate. This right here is an experience to eat this particular fried pie, and this is what I always get. I always get multiple of these.
I think it's Anthony Kent's favorite as well. I think blackberry is
It was
his
my favorite first, Anthony.
So it's going to be the official fried pie of Walker Robinson.
The official fried pie of Steelin for a living.
Yes.
Go to Shelly Beth's Fried Pies. Use code Walker for 0% off.
That's Amy. How about code Walker? If you tell me the code, you get the Newton County prize. Maybe we'll do that. You get the Newton County prize. The close to home. Well, I'm glad you like it, Walker. I thought about bringing you a bunch, and then I thought, no, I'm going to bring him all these different flavors.
Well, I'm glad you did. This has
make
been
him
fun.
try. Well, good. Thank you for going through all those.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me where some places that you all are this year, Walker, and then let's see if we overlap any. Where are places that Shelly Beth Fried Pies and 7 South are going to team up?
We're doing Sparks in the Park.
Oh, no.
Harrison's 4th of July.
Are you in Newton
We're
County?
doing Rock and Richland again.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are y'all going to be back in
We'll
Lake?
be in Newton County at some events. I think I don't want to speak too soon, but I think we're definitely talking about doing some Newton County events, which I'll have advertised on down the road. But we can advertise that together now with our mutual friend Jason. Jason does awesome advertising stuff.
He does.
He is awesome.
I've said that if you want somebody who's more excited about your business than you are, you need to hire Jason.
Amen. He's awesome.
He is. I think he keeps me going. Through the really slow times, I'm like, I got to keep going. I don't want to disappoint Jason. I don't want to disappoint him. Got to get him some material. But well, we are doing things a little different this year. My goal is to be home a little bit more on the weekends.
Oh,
Spend some
come
more
on
time
now.
with
That's
family.
what the guys in 7 South are saying. And I'm like, I want to work. No, go ahead.
Well, we love going, and I do love going, but I'm getting guilted. I guess I've gone too much. But we're trying to do some bigger events. I've applied for a few concerts this year. I've not heard back on them, so I don't want to say anything on them. But I'm kind of dreaming big, some big
Wait,
name
on the drums
concerts.
or playing pies?
Pies. That would totally be pies. But I
got to clarify in these Newton County families.
Because we do so much.
Yeah.
I may do both. But coming up, we are actually, this year's the first year we got invited to the Big Buck Classic in Little Rock.
Oh.
Do you ever go to that?
I've never been there because
Okay.
all my bucks are small, but yeah.
Well, this year you need to go. Maybe you would find out how to get a big buck.
Well, at least I'd get some fried pies.
You would.
That'd be...
But we're down there, and I'm super excited about that because historically January is like our slowest month. January and February.
Yep.
Nobody has money. Everybody's on a
same-
diet.
yeah, same
you know,
thing for
it's
music.
weather's bad. Yeah, same
Everybody's
thing.
going to quit drinking, and then
Yeah,
here
oh,
comes
yeah.
July. And
Well, you got to give them till
know.
at least March to fall off the wagon, you know, and then they'll be fun again, fun and spending. So, but we're at the Big Buck Classic the end of January in Little Rock. Super excited about that. And then we just got notice that we are at in February at the What a Girl Wants event here in Harrison.
Oh,
super
that's
excited.
cool.
Yes.
So isn't that Carly Akers? And
Yes,
them that
it
are doing
is.
that?
Yes.
I love them.
And Mount Judy Mercantile will have a booth there as well for Mount Judy
Awesome.
Mercantile. So
That
we're
is
super
awesome.
excited about that. And then we just have some, our usual things. We have some fundraisers coming up in March and vintage market days and some craft shows and some car shows. And then the fall is always crazy, and we're trying for the Peach Festival, Watermelon Festival. If it's an Arkansas festival, we're usually interested.
Yeah.
Armadillo Festival. I mean, we're in about any Arkansas festival. And then
What about the Squirrel Festival?
is that the one where they fry the squirrel fries? Is that what we were talking about?
It's a big deal over there in
It
NWA.
was. We met when we were over there with the deer meat fried pies. We met some of the guys that compete in that, and that I didn't know much about it.
Oh,
that
yeah,
was
it's a
super
big
interesting.
deal, yeah.
Maybe I need a squirrel fried pie.
Oh,
so it's
now
gonna be a
you're
good
talking
year.
Newton County.
Oh my gosh, you're right. It would be. Challenge accepted.
People in Newton County eat every part of the squirrel.
They did.
Yes,
You're right.
and
You're right.
Well, we won't get in too much depth, but yeah, they eat everything on the squirrel. So yeah, it's definitely a good time. But how's the Mercantile looking for 2025?
It's
or
looking
2026. My
Oh
bad.
my goodness,
Yeah,
it is
yeah.
2026. Well, it's looking great. We're going to do more advertising. We're out more at events like the What a Girl Wants events to try to get the word out. Jason has worked, Epic Shots has worked with us a lot to create kind of some more information about him. We're going to try to highlight some people in the community and get their stories so that we get a little bit more stories on the Mercantile. So we're excited. It's going to be a good year. We have just a lot planned.
Is there
so I'm
any
really
Travis
excited.
book signings at the Mercantile?
I'm sure there will be.
Mercantile?
I need to
Sorry.
get those with. I need to get with Travis and get
Yeah,
those scheduled.
because I mean his stuff is great.
It is.
I-
We carry his books, and he has done some book signings before.
So if you want a Travis Holt book, you can go to the
You
Mount
can.
Judy Mercantile.
Yes. Now we are only open seasonally, so we're closed right now because again, nobody spends money in January, and February,
Right.
and plus it's freezing cold.
Right.
So we will open in April. We'll be open April, May, June. We close in the summer because everybody's too hot, and
Yeah.
then we come back again in the fall, September through December through Christmas. But we need some theme songs, Walker. So if you
Well,
could make
hey.
some theme songs for Shelly Beth Fried Pies.
7 South just so happens to be right in the middle of cutting our full-length studio album here. So
That is awesome.
I'm super excited. Me and Anthony so far have got some tracks down, and we're going to get everybody to come sing. And it's just that band is fun. It's
I
a
love
lot
it.
of fun. We
That's
have a
amazing.
good time, but it's going to be a busy 2025, I bet. Maybe-
2026.
Oh my gosh. It's been a rough start.
2026.
It's been a rough start, everybody. But Shelly Beth, thank you for coming on the
Well,
show.
you're so welcome.
It's been
Thanks
a lot
for
of fun.
having
Thank you
us.
for the pies. These
You are
pies
so
are the
welcome.
best in the land. Don't let anybody tell you any different. State law says that Shelly Beth's fried pies are the best. So
And you need to eat these and listen to 7 South.
Yeah.
Listen to those
Yeah.
new songs that they're
yeah,
getting
new
out.
7 South songs are coming. Just go listen to them. It'll be fun. Oh, and go watch the Measure of Broken Heart music video that I just got
Yes,
done.
that was great. I
That
saw
was
that
such a
one.
good time, and Glenn is just one of my best friends ever. He is
That's
just a
awesome.
great guy and great to work with. Well, Shelly Beth, thank you.
Thanks for
I
having
appreciate
me, Walker.
you.
Thank
And,
you.
we'll definitely get in touch soon. And
Yes.
we'll definitely cross paths this year. I'm sure.
Yes, I will see you down the road.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cut.